What's up, everybody? This is Rob Barrington here for our results show from our weekly Pro-Am tournament. We play this every weekend on Bridge Base, and here is our top 10 for the week. I've done this a little differently the last couple of weeks, and I'm interested with your input, actually. Do you prefer to have a results show that's kind of just me going over my results and have it immediately on Sunday morning when you wake up? Or do you kind of like to be able to see the hands that were played and some of the other pros playing the hands? You can let me know by just commenting below. This is another version of me kind of going over the results after the fact. And the only issue with this is it'll be later on Sunday afternoons, usually where this will post for you. So I know some of you are really edging to get the results right away and you want something early in the morning. I just would love to hear your thoughts on that. But I'm going to jump in this week and show you another massive game by John Hurd this past week. He has 2 weeks in a row where he was above 90% last week, and he's at 86.88 this week. Now, he fully admits, and I've talked to him a couple times, that he is running, as we say, really good. This is a spot where he's made some very bizarre decisions and come out really far ahead based on what the robots have chosen to do against him. We saw an example of that in the last hand last week, but here, another huge result for him. And welcome to the tournament, Kevin Bathurst. Now, Kevin is actually John's partner in the real Bridge world, and they'll be playing with Gavin and the rest of the crew for the World Championships in later this month, actually, in Italy. So here, Kevin, one of his first times playing the tournament, he comes in second place, so good job for him. And these are the two pros that are leading the field. And here, I have to give a shout out to my New York student here, Deborah Roberts, 5th place, and her husband was a little bit further down here in about 18th place. But really good stuff. They bested me by quite a bit this past week. And that is always, the husband and wife pairs are usually going at each other really hard. And I know Deborah really wants to beat her husband David each week. And she not only beat him, but almost everyone else in the field this past week. So good job, Deborah. And keep those husband and wife partnerships friendly, but, keep them going, right? This is good stuff to have this little household rivalry. And I hope you guys set up a reward structure for these sorts of things, dinners or a special cocktail, something like that, to reward your significant other with the besting of them for the weekend. So let's jump in, and I'll show you my results and some of the results of the other pros during this past week's event. Here we go, guys. Board 1. So here are my results for the week. And I have to say, I took a little step forward this week. I was 62.44%. I made a couple of... I saw the huge results last week, and on the second board, I think, is the one I made kind of a weird choice on. I was punished for trying to go outside the box and do something weird with the robots. And then I kind of retreated back into myself and had some reasonable results afterwards. You'll notice if you scroll down in the results this week, you'll see some very, very high-level pros with some stinkers out there, guys. We're talking sub 40%, and this happens. And it especially will happen when they are, like I said in previous sessions, when they are kind of swinging for the fences and trying to get a huge score by introducing variance into the equation. That can lead to the scores you see from Johnny Hurd, like 90% and 87%, but they can also lead to a 0 on several different boards. And then when you're trying to make up for that, it can lead to even worse results. So when you see one of the best bridge players in the world with a sub 40% game, you kind of know what's going on, and you can see the risk involved in those types of strategies. And I have to tell you, after board 2 this week, I learned my lesson with the strategy of just kind of trying to guess what the robots are going to do correctly or poorly. But hopefully, I think we're going to have Brad Moss here one day at some point relatively soon to talk about the strategies that he uses that he finds most effective, because honestly, I want to know what they are so I can maybe implement them correctly in some of these other tournaments. But here, let's take a look at board number 1. This was, for my money, a really easy auction, right? Partner opens 2 spades. And it goes pass, and this is your hand here, folks. So here, you have to understand that you aren't going to make a game here, right? If you had a hand that was stronger and or had a long suit of its own and a bunch of quick winners, I mean, more aces and kings together in a suit, whereas this one is 1 ace and then it's a bunch of slow winners, king, queen, king. You have a singleton spade, but where are you going to go? Any bid you make other than just a simple raise of spades, which you're not going to do with 1 card support, is going to be forcing. And not only forcing, it's going to show a really strong hand. If I bid 3 clubs here or 2-no trump, I'm a good 16 plus, right? Because I have to have some idea that I'm going to be making a game opposite a weak bid. That's about 6 to 10 points. So here, easy pass. And think of what pass will buy you sometimes, folks. With a hand like this, your opponents might step into the auction, which is great for your hand. If your opponents find a heart fit or a club fit, even a diamond fit here, you might just be sitting pretty, wrecking them in the contract that they have to now play at the 3 level. Okay, so here, don't be upset if the opponents come in. This might be your best plus score. So here, just playing 2 spades is very normal. And you'll notice when I look at all the results here, and here they are from all the other tables, just letting your partner play 2 spades, or really you play 2 spades, and going plus 110 is a super average score. There is one aberration out there, and that is Woody 9999 played 3-no trump. And congratulations, Woody. That is a bid that is way too much, and you should not be making it. But the robots found a way to let you do that. That's great. But guys, seriously, 2 spades making 2. That is the score that everyone is achieving on this board, because that is exactly what you're going to do. And anybody that went higher or maybe didn't play it as well were the ones getting the bad scores. And that's what a 3-no trump bid will usually get you guys in a situation like this. Down 3, down 4, mercifully undoubled, folks. So here, just have the discipline to pass your partner's 2 spade bid, and then you are done, folks. You're just gonna sit back and try to take 8 tricks and 2 spades. And the way I played this hand was relatively simple. They let a diamond. You're gonna take a finesse here, right? They're giving you a chance to take a diamond trick, right? If they've led away from the king, which is unlikely, but if they have, they've given you a trick you can't take yourself. And if they haven't, you are immediately setting up a second diamond trick in that hand over there. So here, they get off to another diamond. You're going to win it in that dummy over there in the south player's hand so that you can take a spade finesse immediately, folks, right? You want to get to the hand that you can actually play spades correctly, because here, when they start leading diamonds, you should be worried about them roughing. So we're going to try to draw trump as efficiently as possible. And here, they make a weird kind of unblocking play here. Well, not unblocking, a false carding play here with the king of spades. But at this point, it looks like you might want to draw another round of trump. So that's exactly what I'm doing. I'm going to play another spade, and I'm hoping they're 3-3. A little disappointing that they're not. And now it's kind of good that they didn't draw trump for us. And at this point, they just take their side suit tricks, and we just sit back, and he's roughing with a natural trump trick now anyway. So here we're super happy to just take every trick on this board. We'll lose the ace of hearts, and there's 8 rippers for plus 110, folks. An even better result, though, would have been, hey, let's balance with a weird hand over there. I mean, obviously, West is certainly not going to balance with their King, Jack, 10, 4 of spades, but with a different hand, maybe they get into the auction, and maybe you just go plus a lot more just by sitting back and defending with your nice cards outside of spades. So let's take a look at my just stupid choice on board 2. Here, this was me thinking about all of the pros that we're kind of doing weird stuff the week before to amazing results. So this hand is massive, right? It is 23 high card points. And the way we're going to deal with this is we're going to open 2 clubs and rebid 2-no trump, right? That's our 22 to 24 balanced range, right? So here, that's exactly what we're going to do. We open 2 clubs, we bid 2-no trump, and now think of this always, folks, as a new jumping off point, right? This auction almost resets, and we play the exact same system here that we would play over our opening 2-no trump or even 1-no trump bids. So partner bids Stamen, and here's where I decide to get wacky, right? I deny a 4-card major in the hopes that partner will bid 3-no trump, and that will be better for me and my score. And here you can see, not so much, right? So here, spades, honestly, I don't know if we're making any of these contracts, and I'll show you the other results in a second here, but here, I'm much happier in spades. Let's put it that way. As soon as I see this dummy, I know that I really want to be in a spade suit when this hand is so bad, right? I have 2 small hearts over here that I can rough one of my hearts with. I also might be able to trump a diamond, but really probably not if I'm drawing 3 rounds of trump here. But either way, I'm just safer in that contract. And then I also, most importantly, have an entry to that hand if things are going okay for me. And there I can maybe get a little bit of an advantage by dealing with that club suit and setting up that for a pitch in my hand as well. So here, guys, I would have been much happier in the 4-spade contract, but I chose to just deny a 4-card major when I had one, and you can see the result of that. Minus 103 no trump, where let's see the other results, folks. And there it is, guys. 4 spades making 4, right? All I have to do is respond with 3 spades, and then boom, we get to sit back and play 4 spades making 4 for a 97.8% versus 3 no trump down 1, which was not going to be close to that. I was just over 50% for that score. And you reward yourself when you make a good weird choice, but you definitely kick yourself when a normal choice would have been the best score. So I'm going to keep it down the middle for the near future anyway, unless I feel like I'm really far behind. It is advisable if you want to have a good score. If you've had a couple of really bad boards that you screwed up on, maybe you add a little variance in because, hey, it's probably not going to matter too much to your downside, but your upside is a little bit better. But especially after that first board that was just fine, there was no reason for me to do anything weird here, and I definitely got bit by that. So here, yeah, some people were able to make 3 no trump, which is a tough sell, and I think one of those was John Hurt here. Yeah, he played 3 no trump, but he decided he went super aggressive, and that's been his mode the last couple of weeks, and he's been handsomely rewarded. He opened 3 no trump on this hand. And now when you do stuff like that, take a look at what happens here. He gets gifted the 8 of clubs on the opening lead, but also the robots are going to always think you're telling the truth. They have no concept of bluffing and it's not like a bluff, but it is a severe overbid, let's put it that way. So the robots are going to take that to the bank, and a lot of times that's going to cause them to defend incorrectly. If you saw last week's episode where the robots underlead in honor and then duck it in the other hand, they did that because the auction suggested that the opener had a certain hand with a certain number of values and shape, and they didn't have that, right? So here the robot thinks it doesn't matter when really it does, because the person, the pro that's playing it, is bamboozling them in a pretty interesting way. So here, all credit to people that played 3 no trump. I think you're going to play at least game on this one here. So here, folks, you should be in 4 spades or 3 no. That's the most normal contract. 4 spades, clearly the most normal, right? But it has to start 2 clubs and then rebid 2 no trump, right? So that is where we want to be on this hand. And you can see that anyone playing 4 spades is going to have a tough run of it also. If you were able to make 4 spades or 3 no trump, you did amazingly well on this board. That's why you see those scores that were so high. But here's Michael Berkowitz kind of playing the hand in a very normal way and taking the losers that we're going to take. We have to lose a heart. We have to lose a spade. We have to lose a club and a diamond, right? If you didn't lose those cards, you got lucky in some sort of way with the way the robots played. But this was the luck for me, is that my choice to bid 3 no trump wasn't as terrible as it could have been, because if 4 spades was just rolling home, I'm not getting 52.2, I'm getting like 12, right? So here, important that, you just get to the right spot first, and then maybe you can get a win in the play of that hand, folks. So here's a really cool hand that we need to talk about, because I shouldn't be getting 92.9 or 98.9 on this board here. The play might have had a little something to do with it, but we have to understand this auction. This is a time where the responder is going to bid a new suit during an auction. They're going to be an unpassed hand, and that's going to be a non-forcing bid. And that's because of the system that you and the robot have agreed to play together. When we open a diamond with the South player's hand, which is, in my opinion, in a best hand robot tournament, you just always open your 11 counts, right? The only time you're not going to do something like this with the best hand tournament, where you're not going to open any hand, is really when you're dealt a 10 count. And even then, with certain shapes, you might open. But here, with an 11 count, it's just plus percentage-wise to be opening this hand. And when I show you the other tables, we'll kind of get a look at what the other people chose to do. But here, opening 1 diamond being perfectly normal. Partner bids 1 spade, and here you're just going to bid 1 no trump. If partner had bid a heart, I would probably have passed this hand, right? And that's because, again, I know it's a best hand tournament. So here, I'm happy to just pass in this spot because my partner can't have more than 11. But in this case, when it goes 1 diamond, 1 spade, 1 no trump, if partner has a good hand and interest in spades or hearts for that matter, or both in this case, as we can see, and a good hand, they will bid new minor forcing. If they have a good hand, they will bid 2 clubs here. 2 clubs is the strong, hey, I'm interested in the major suit bids at this point, tell me more. Whereas 2 hearts, and if you moused over this, you would see is kind of a weak version of that, right? It says 6 to 11. I would say more like 6 to 9, right? And it shows 5 spades and 4 hearts. So here, a ton of things are telling you what's happening on this board. Number one, partner can't have more than 11, so it's probably safe to pass anyway. But number two, partner had a stronger bid available to explore the major suits. So when they just bid spades and then hearts after it goes minor, major, no trump, this 2 heart bid is weak. And it is passable, right? So here you're either passing 2 hearts usually or converting back to 2 spades and playing it there. I want to take a look at the rest of the results, but let me just show you how this played out, folks. I got the King of Diamonds lead, which is pretty awesome here. And I am just going to kind of use the trumps in that hand. I know I have to draw rounds of trump here, and I'm accepting that I'm going to take 3 losses on this one at least. So I'm using the trump suit to just rough some tricks. So here I took a spade finesse. That lost, unfortunately. And now the robots kind of got wise and played the ace of hearts and the king of hearts, but they didn't get wise enough because they crunched their queen into their partner's ace. So now they lead a diamond, and now I get to rough that, right? So they've gone a little bit over the edge here as far as their defense, maybe not their best line. And at this point, now I can just kind of take the tricks here, and I could have cashed that heart. I probably should have earlier, but here I just get to pitch a diamond on that spade and then lead towards my club, and boom. I should have drawn a last round of trump. I didn't, but luckily I wasn't punished for that. And 98.9% for that particular score. Let's take a look at what the other tables were doing here. So here it was just a matter of making the correct number of tricks, right? If you made 3, and some people were in 3 hearts, others were in 2, but if you were able to scrape together 9 tricks, you were going to get 98.9%. You see quite a few of that. But then if you're just getting 8 tricks, you're still getting 92.1%, right? So the bad scores are going to be the people that chose to do something weird, or take a look, guys, there are the pass outs. It's minus EV to be passing out in a best hand tournament, at least. Because think of it also, folks. When you pass this out, or when you bid, you're going to be playing with a ton of information, right? You know you have the best hand at the table, so you know it's going to be one of those split deck hands, and that can help you in situations when you're actually declaring. You're going to have more information. Now, this is not the best shape to be opening, but still, right? If partner has around that same number, you have more than they do, and you rate to do pretty well. Just make sure that you're being very disciplined and very mindful of the fact that you can definitely be passing a forcing bid now, right? If you think it's forced, this 2 heart bid was not forcing. I don't want you to get the wrong idea, but if it went a diamond and my partner bid a heart on this hand, I fully intended on passing because I know they can't have more than 11 either. So you're going to be, when you could pass it out, right? When you could be in a spot where passing ends the auction, and when you have 11 and you choose to pass in a best hand tournament, it frequently ends the auction. In fact, way more often than not. So all you have to do is scrape together a plus score. And if you've watched any of the weekly challenge that I do here on YouTube as well, that's every Monday through Friday, you'll see we have this decision quite often in that tournament. And I always open, except I think last week I had a 10-point hand that was flat and I didn't open because now I knew everyone had 10 and there was really going to be a tough way to go plus there. But here, when you have any sort of possibility to go plus and that information that's going to be there when you play the hand, it is in a best hand tournament very right to just be opening these things. All right, let's see number 4. Number 4, I just defended 2 clubs, right? The auction went 1 spade on my left. Right-hand opponent made the forcing no trump bid. Nothing to do here. They bid 2 clubs and it went all pass. Happy, right? They bid my 2 best suits in this spot. So here I was just hoping my partner led a club, but as you can see, that's going to be a tough sell from king small of clubs. I only beat it 1 trick. Some of the people at the other tables were able to actually beat this 2 tricks. And that was a pretty good percentage difference. That was 28.5% difference. I'm going to show you how I defended it, and then we'll look at some of the people that got it 2 tricks. So here, partner led the 10 of hearts, which is fine, right? We're going to play low on that and let declare win the king. We're not going to have to overtake that at all. And here they play the queen of diamonds from their hand to the king. And at this point, I played another heart, which might have been maybe not the best thing. Maybe a club there would have been much better, especially knowing in hindsight partner as the king. They let a spade. We hopped up with our ace, cashed the jack of hearts, and then I just kind of was looking to safely exit my hand with a diamond. Weird that partner won the ace there, but that's okay. And now here, I just kind of let this one go. right? I pitched a spade rather than roughing because I'm expecting to take some natural trump tricks here. If I had roughed with the 10, I would have forced the ace to get played there. And that may have been much better for our side. So this is another possible spot where I could have done better. Let's take a look at the people that got it 2 tricks against 2 clubs. All right, here was the winner this week. Here's Johnny Hurd defending 2 clubs. Same auction. Everyone was going to have the same auction unless you were doing something super weird here. And here I have to tell you that Johnny threw the gauntlet down the last couple of weeks. He was sick of Brad and sometimes Joe dominating the tournament. So he's really kind of coming at these events very, very aggressively, and obviously you can see the results with that. But here, same opening lead, obviously, and then it goes diamond to the king, as we saw, and here's where he let it club, right? And that's the best play, right? We want to take spade tricks on this hand, more than the one that we took at my table. So here, you're rewarded when partner has that king of clubs, and now they fire another club, which they hop up with the queen there, just fine. And now when it goes ace of spades, and you fire a club, you know you've drawn all the trump that you need to. And then they can rough 1 spade, but you're going to be sitting back with that queen of spades at some point in your hand, as well as a good trump, and then the rest of the tricks that we already took at our table there. So yeah, the big mistake that I made was just not firing a trump right away there. That was a big loser, and something that, honestly, I'm sitting there hoping partner leads a club initially, and then, you know, as you're sitting at the table, you just maybe convince yourself of something different happening, which is, you know, just the way bridge goes, unfortunately. But here, even though I only get this 1 trick, still 60.4%. Not too bad. Nothing to sneeze at there. So we'll take that. The next few boards, kind of pedestrian for me. Could have done better, but we'll take a look at the results here. Very averagey type results in some of these boards as well. So there wasn't a ton to swing at. But here, let's take a look at board number 5. We're going to look at Radu Nistor's play here, which I think was the main play that most people were taking to make 12 tricks on this hand. I saw this after the fact. I kind of was kicking myself for not at least giving it a shot. And here it's just a really good robot play and a way that we're going to be able to get rid of 2 losers rather than just 1 on this hand. You notice immediately here when you're in 4 spades, and this auction should be the same, right? You're obviously going to kick it into game here because of your values, and you have king jack 4th of trumps, right? When the robot makes a vulnerable preempt in first chair, you can expect them to have near the top of that range, folks. So here, knowing their suit is probably not that great, you should know they have some reasonable cards over there. So they're very good at kind of at least estimating that sort of strength when they're vulnerable or in a position where they should have a better preempt than normal, right? So you can usually take that to the bank with the robots. But here you can see that those people that were making 4 spades here, we're making 12 tricks in 4 spades, we're actually going to have to get rid of 2 diamonds here before they draw trump. And take a look at how Radu does this. You see the queen of hearts lead and it goes king. Ace of hearts, we pitch a diamond. And everyone should do this, guys. This should be your first play because you don't want to lose 2 diamonds. If the ace of diamonds is in the east player's chair, you may in fact lose 2 diamonds at some point if you just lead a spade and they fire a diamond through if they win the ace of spades in the west player's chair. Here you can see that's not happening either way, but still, you don't know that at this point. So here comes 1. And now they made a robot check here. They play the jack of clubs from dummy, knowing that the robot is very predisposed to cover this. And when they didn't cover, he wins the ace of clubs. And now he takes a club finesse the other direction. And when he does this, he gets to cash the king of clubs and now pitch a diamond. And now the hand is over, folks. He's gotten rid of both his diamond losers and then king of spades here and boom, boom, boom. Now, he may, and this is a very interesting match point decision when you're deciding to do this. If for some reason this club finesse loses, now he's taking an extra loser that you didn't, right? So here, with my play of not taking this line, I actually left a trick on the table that was there for the taking. However, if the opposite is true, right? If this 10 of clubs loses to the queen and the robot chose not to cover for some reason, now they cash a diamond and then they get the ace of spades as well. So this is a quintessential match point decision. And it is a very educated, good guess, to be honest, because he gets the read from his left-hand opponent. When he plays that jack of clubs on the previous trick here, he gets a nice piece of information. Now, it's not going to be 100%, right? Sometimes they will duck certain situations, especially like queen 4th. I would guess they might duck more often. Who knows? But here, When he sees that they don't, he has enough information that this is a good calculated risk. And now, as long as this survives, he's okay, because then he can play the king of clubs, pitch the diamond, and if they end up roughing, it's a loser on loser at some point. But here, it doesn't matter at all. He gets the perfect run here, and now he just runs trumps, and that's it. He loses one spade. So good job, Radu. I think Johnny Hurd played it the same. I think Brad did as well. So that's the match point decision, right? You're making a play that could produce an under trick. But when it produces an over trick and he gets that read that they didn't cover, it's odds on that it's going to be okay for you. So well done. And I always, in hindsight, I'm on my side of the table saying, darn, I wish I could have done that and gotten, instead of 50.7%, I don't know, 91.7 for making 6 is pretty darn good, right? So here, that's a big swing, and a lot of people were making that play, and congratulations for taking that good risk in that spot. Let's take a look at board number 6. So here's Kevin Bathurst's result on board number 6 for 98.8%. And you can go about this South player's hand in a number of different ways, to be honest. I chose to bid the unusual 2-no trump with this hand. I think I'm a little heavy for it, but the robot usually is okay with this sort of heaviness. However, you can see the alternative auction leads to a much better spot, right? 1 spade by East, 2 diamonds by the South player, 2 spades by North, right? Hey, I have a good raise of diamonds, and now South just gets to pattern their hand out by bidding 3 clubs, and North makes an interesting 3-no trump bid, which ends up being amazing for our side here. And you can see Kevin actually ends up taking 10 tricks on this hand, and that's because of a lot of really good cards out there. Look at the 10-3 of spades in the West player's hand. That's going to create 4 spade tricks for our side. We already have 5 diamonds, and the king of hearts is 10, right? So this is a really interesting hand where if you just make a normal overcall without doing something funky like I did, you're going to actually get to a spot where you're going to get to play a game and go plus. Here, I bid 2-no trump, and here's the problem when you bid 2-no trump. When partner bids 3 diamonds, you don't know how good your hand is, right? Partner's forced to bid in this spot, and right-hand opponent's already open the bidding, so partner can have a wide range. When you happen to bid 2 diamonds here in this one, you come out much, much better. Now, if you flop the diamonds and clubs in that North player's hand, now you might have a little bit of a problem, right? If you bid 2 diamonds and commit to just the diamond suit, now what the heck do? They probably pass, right? And now you're stuck in possibly a bad spot when you have a better club spot. So here, it's honestly personal preference here. In a realistic situation, folks, I would bid 2 diamonds with this hand for sure. But again, with the robots, I don't mind kind of painting a picture of my hand to them and letting them choose in a spot where I don't think I'm going to get punished severely. And here, I just needed to play this 1 trick better for 34% more, right? I was in 3 diamonds, and I actually only made 5 because I actually lost a club and a heart on this hand, right? Here, if they don't cash their ace of hearts, right, you can actually pitch your hearts away in the king, queen of spades on this hand, right? And then rough some clubs and you'll be all set. But if they take their tricks pretty quickly, you're cooked, right? It's for 52.3. So most of you were kind of doing this, right? And honestly, you can see a lot of people bidding 2-no trump here. You can see a lot of people bidding 2 diamonds as well. Make sure you're doing one of those 2 things. That's the key. You're not bidding anything other than that unless you want to get a super weird score there. All right, let's see the last 2 boards here. So this is the most normal score you're going to achieve on this board, and that's why it's 54%, folks. You open 1-no trump with this hand always, right? This is always going to be your opening bid. And when you do, partner's going to bid 2 clubs. And if you're not doing anything weird, you're going to bid 2 hearts, and partner's going to bid 4 hearts, and you're going to take 12 tricks, right? Yeah, and it's very, very normal on this hand. You're just going to lose 1 club. You're going to rough diamonds and pitch 1 on the clubs anyway, so you're not going to have to take any finesses there. So very, very normal result. However, some of the other tables, and I'll show you 2 here, Kevin and John chose to bid this the exact same way. And they chose that because, hey, they're shooting for a slightly better score in match points. And you can see the disaster that I had with this choice in an earlier hand ends up working out quite well when you decide to play no trump here, because you have the same number of tricks, really, right? You're going to take 4 hearts. You're going to take 2 spades is 6. You're going to take 3 clubs is 9, and then you're actually going to have to navigate a diamond finesse because you can't rough anything on this hand. So here you do have to maybe do a little bit more work, but if you guess diamonds correctly, you're going to actually get 97.9% for your 3-no trumps. Anyone that played slam, you just kind of bid this super weird. Congratulations, but it's a slam you don't want to be in, especially when you think about this. These people that are in 6 hearts way up here, they get 1.9% higher than the people that kind of take a less egregious risk on this hand. These people are playing 3-no trump in a semi-balanced situation with a lot of chunky 10s and things. So here, they're playing at the game level without a total disaster available, right? If they take one less trick, yeah, honestly, it probably would be a disaster because look at all the 54%. There is everybody in the field, basically, just playing 4 hearts, making 6. If you have a bunch of these on your scorecard, you did very well, right? And if you took less than that, you did not play it correctly, right? You actually took a diamond finesse incorrectly or something, and you lost a trick that you didn't need to lose. And that's fine. You're going to make mistakes like this, but here, these choices by the pros are hit or miss, right? And for a couple of them, especially for John, the last couple of weeks, it's been hit more often than not. Running good, but we'll see what happens next week for sure. Let's take a look at the last board number 8. And this was one of the more normal results of the weekend here. Most of you were in 4 spades. In fact, almost all of you, except for the people that kind of really went to town on this one. But the auction is going to be the same at every table pretty much. Your partner's going to open a spade. It's going to go 2 clubs on your right, and you're going to make a natural 2-heart bid, right? A good 10 or more points and 5 or more cards in that heart suit. If you only had 4, you would make a negative double here. And then it goes 3 clubs on your left, just a normal raise, and double by partner, which honestly, I wasn't really sure what the heck this was even here, other than just maybe some extra values, which is what they're trying to communicate there. And now it goes 3 diamonds by us. We're just patterning our hand out, right? We're banking a natural bid. We don't know if we have a spade fit just yet, but now when partner bids 3 spades, we can see that that is a 6-card spade suit. And we can also understand that if they were showing extra values with this double, that extra value must be coming with shape, right? So here you can pretty much take to the bank that partner has a reasonably long and strong spade suit on this hand, and you're just going to kick it into game, right? You have this strong 12 count. You're very happy you found a fit, so here we go. We're going to just play game in spades. And on this one, you lose 1 trick, folks. You lose the ace of clubs, and that's it. The spade finesse works. When you take your spade finesse, make sure you play the 9 of spades, folks. That is the key thing here. You play the 9 of spades because you want to be able to take this finesse again if they don't actually cover this. But when they cover it, hand is over, right? You have 12 tricks, and nothing is going to change that. When I take a look at the other tables here, there were 2 people that went to the 6th level here, and congratulations. You played slam on a finesse and were successful, but remember, you don't want to play slam on a finesse, right? You were rewarded more handsomely here for this sort of stretch. You get 27.5% more than the average result on this one, which is 72.3. But here, just doing normal stuff gets you 72%. There's no reason to take massive risks, because here, you can tell you're getting 99.8 or you're getting 0 or 1.2, right? So, or sorry, 0.2%, excuse me. So here you can understand that if you're that far out there on the limb, you're taking a lot more risk than the rest of the field. And some of you might have thought you needed it here to have a better score. These weren't, as far as I know, the people that bid 6 spades were not the pros on the hand. I didn't recognize either of the names, but good job for you guys being in 6 spades. But really, 4 spades making 6 is very normal. Just make sure you take your spade finesse. And also, just in case you're getting a worse break in spades and you need to take this finesse more than once, the 9 of spades is the key card there. So when you win that ace of diamonds, just put that 9 of spades on the table. Hand is over. All right, guys, thank you so much for joining. And once again, in the comments, just let me know what you think about the ways that this is going to be produced. Do you like to see this kind of run through of the full results after the fact, which sometimes will be a little bit later in the day on Sunday? I don't have like every Sunday completely free every moment of the day, so I might have to wait for a little bit of a later afternoon posting. Or do you want to see kind of what it stands at almost like on a Saturday or something like that when I do it then, where the tournament hasn't completed yet? I kind of like seeing all the results and talking about what other people are doing as well. But you guys let me know, and I will see you next weekend. If you haven't signed up for this weekend tournament, The link is right in the description and the comments, and jump on in. Only have to sign up once and you'll be playing with us and all the other pros every single week. So I will either see you right here on YouTube, folks, for all the great content here, or on bridgelesson.com for all of my full and structured lessons that are on that site, which are many at this point, hundreds of lessons with full notes and quizzes and things like that. So check it out if you haven't been there. It is a really great resource for the advancing bridge player. So I'll see you next time, folks. Take care.